So in Brian Daboll's first year with the New York Giants, I can be completely honest here, and I can say that it's been a major success. This team is 8-5-1, and they seem like they're going to be playoff bound. He has come in immediately and changed the culture for the New York Giants. And we can go back to that Week 1 victory against the Tennessee Titans, to where they went for two late in the fourth quarter and they won the game. Ever since then, they believe in everything that Brian Daboll has done and everything that he said. It hasn't been all pretty for the New York Giants, but it's been pretty great as a whole. They switched the entire coaching staff. We saw it last year when they had guys like Jason Garrett. They had Joe Judge, your head coach. Nothing was working, and a lot of people had a lot of questions for Daniel Jones. They're giving Daniel Jones a lot of hate. But this year, Brian Daboll's come in, and he's transformed this entire team. Little to no people believe that this team was going to go in and be a playoff caliber team, but that's how they look, and they've dealt with injuries all year. Daniel Jones has been good this year. This is the best that we've seen Daniel Jones play. He's been a good quarterback. He's cut the turnovers, 12 passing touchdowns, but he's dealt with so many injuries at the wide receiver position. And Brian Daboll's put everyone in the perfect situation to win. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley in just a second, but we have to give Daniel Jones a lot of credit here. This is a guy that has #1 wide receiver out in Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson. He was out as well, dealing with an ACL injury. Both of those guys tore their ACL. Sterling Shepard tore his ACL early in the season, their first meeting against the Dallas Cowboys. And then you also trade Kadarius Toney to the Kansas City Chiefs. So he's left with wide receivers such as Kenny Golladay, who has done nothing of note this year for this team. He has only 51 receiving yards, and he can't catch anything. And you go back to Darius Slayton, who had a dropping problem last season, who's been good this season, is a guy that's your quintessential #1 wide receiver. Daniel Bellinger was the for sure handed tight end early in the season. He had to deal with an eye injury, so he's missed the last couple of games. So you're integrating him back into the system. It's been a revolving door in the wide receiver room, and it's been a revolving door in the secondary as well. But the coaching staff, such as Brian Daboll, Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, has helped this team out a lot. This is a very well-coached football team, and they're winning a lot of football games right now because of the coaching staff. Yes, they tied the Washington Commanders, and a lot of people are saying they got a questionable win over the Washington Commanders last game, but they still played a very good football game. Saquon Barkley has been awesome, has been phenomenal this year, and Brian Daboll's used him to the best of his ability. He has been a guy that's been using in the receiving game as well. But Saquon Barkley's been one of the best running backs in the league. 269 carries, 1,170 yards, and 9 rushing touchdowns. And then you add on Daniel Jones rushing to that as well, 583 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. And it's something that a lot of coaches didn't want to do early on with Daniel Jones. Let him use his legs. We saw it last year. They wanted him to stay in the pocket and be a guy that was going to be a prototypical type of quarterback. That's not the best way to use Daniel Jones. He's a very athletic quarterback. He had the funny moment last year where he tripped up and fell when he was going to have a clear-cut touchdown, but he's cleaned up on that. He's been very good, been very solid this year. He makes the throws when they matters, and when guys like Kenny Golladay aren't dropping the balls, we see that on tape. We see that on film. He has been a very good, solid quarterback for this team. This is a guy that you can invest to for the next 2 to 3 years. You could give a contract extension to, because he's deserved that. And with Brian Daboll in his ear, it helps out with that. We saw it early in the season as well when they came back in London against the Green Bay Packers. That was another turning point for this team. They were down big in that game, and Brian Daboll's on the sideline yelling at guys, telling them, "Hey, let's go, let's get the tempo up." And they've dealt with that. And you look at the defensive side of things, Wink Martindale's played a phenomenal role in getting these guys right. We saw it in the Baltimore Ravens game when they beat Lamar Jackson and they got those clutch interceptions late in the game in the fourth quarter. Dexter Lawrence has been amazing this year with 6.5 sacks. He's become an elite run stopper, one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in all of football, with Leonard Williams on the side of him as well. And Adoree Jackson has missed games, but guys like Fabian Monroe have stepped up. Guys like Julian Love in the secondary, they've stepped up because they've dealt with so many injuries. This team has dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of players not playing up to standard, but yet they're still winning football games. Jalen Smith, a guy that the Dallas Cowboys cut, they bring him onto this team. He's been a good, solid linebacker. He makes the tackles when it matters the most, and he's always there causing havoc. No, he's not an elite linebacker, but he's playing good football right now. This is a team that's playing very good. And Kayvon Thibodeaux was phenomenal against the Washington Commanders last game, and he's been a standout star as well. He's a guy that a lot of people say had character issues coming out of Oregon. He's fit this culture very well. This is a guy that comes off the edge at a high rate. The sack numbers aren't high, but he creates a lot of traffic off the side, off the edge, and he's going to continue to develop into being a good defensive end. So they have some key pieces on this team. And this is just the first year with Brian Daboll. Imagine how they're going to be in the next couple of years, and the season hasn't even ended yet. Yes, they do have struggles when you take the run game away from them, but it's hard to take the run game away from them. The RPO with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and Darius Slayton has worked. And they have losses against teams like the Detroit Lions who've gotten red hot, and losses against Seattle Seahawks because they take away the run game and guys can't make certain catches when it matters the most. But Daniel Jones will take over a game with his legs, and they work off of play action. They're one of the best play action teams in all of football. When you look at Brian Daboll, how he integrates that system, he's carried over that passing system with the Buffalo Bills over to the New York Giants and is helped out at a high standard. I love everything that Brian Daboll has done, and this first year has been a major success. With the key players on this team, the New York Giants are a different football team than they've been in years prior. They've been failing at getting the right head coach, but I believe right now you have your head coach for years to come, and this team is going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs for the simple fact anything can happen. If the guys in the receiving room can just make a couple plays a game and let the defense go out there and blitz you and let those guys create turnovers, we've seen Daniel Jones have turnover-free games. We've seen that the New York Giants are hard to beat when he doesn't turn the football over and when guys are running the right routes. Yes, they have the ugly losses against the Dallas Cowboys, but they're going against a very physical front end of the Dallas Cowboys. For every Dallas Cowboys loss, it's a Tennessee Titans Green Bay Packers win that you look at and say, hey, this team is building on something. Years prior, the New York Giants will only have 2 to 3 wins right now. Instead, they have 8 wins. Brian Daboll's come in. He's been a phenomenal coach. And let's give Wink Martin, the defensive coordinator, his roses as well. And let's give these players that a lot of people don't want to give credit to for the last couple of years, their credit as well. And this is the first time that we've seen Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley finish out an entire season together for the whole season. And so far, it's been pretty amazing to see. So let me know how you feel about the New York Giants in the comment section below. How far do you think this team can go in the playoffs? And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, each and the last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.